Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about interpreting scatter plots and line of best fit. This round of notes we're going to be doing this by hand first. So the terms that you need to know for this unit, we are going to have our data, which is the set of numbers, the univariate data, which is just going to be a single set of numbers. The bivariate data, you're going to actually have a pair of numbers and show relationships between the actual two pairs. We're comparing two different things. The univariate, you're just having one set of data, you're just comparing one thing. And a scatter plot, this is a graph that shows the relationship of your bivariate data, the two different pairs of your numbers, using points on the coordinate grid. Your trend, this is a relationship that exists between the two variables in a bivariate data set, and the correlation is an association between those two variables. Positive correlation, this is a relationship where the value of one variable increases as the value of the other variable also increases. A negative correlation, this is when the value of one variable decreases as the value of the other variable increases. So that's for a positive correlation and negative correlation. Our causal relationship, this is when one variable causes a change in another variable. An explanatory variable, this is in a causal relationship, the variable which causes the change in another variable. And then our response variable, this is in a causal relationship, the variable which is affected by the explanatory variable. We will go over these in a little bit more detail. So we're going to use the table to answer our questions. We are talking about the body length of a panda. We have our age in months up here on the top of our table. This represents our X, and then the body length in inches is our Y. So we have these months right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the inches 30, 55, 80, 112, and 136. So we are going to make a scatter plot of this data set by plotting those points. So the first thing we need to do is we need to title our graph and label it so that we know what we are actually talking about here and comparing. So body length of a panda. And then we have our X, like I said, our X term was the age, and we are talking about months, so make sure that you have your quantities here as well as your units. And then we also have our body length as our Y, and we are measuring in inches there. Okay, so we are going to count by ones on our x-axis. Hopefully you guys can squeeze them in better than I can. And then we are going to, you guys can go all the way as you wish. Mine are a little bit off because my numbers are so big. And then the values on the left side, I'm just going to count by tens because we go from 30 all the way to 136. It's going to be a little hard to read my writing, but hopefully you guys are writing it a little bit more clear on your notes. So our first point that we see here, we are going to mark 1, 30. So at the first month of this panda's, his body length is 30 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and make a point there. And then at 2, we have 55, so we're going between that 50 and 60. 3, we're up to 80. So let me go up to 80 right there. And then we have 4, we go up to 112, so we're going to be a little bit past the 110. And then we have 5, we are going up to 136. So I'm at 130 and a little bit past. So here we are. So that's my points there. Now we're going to draw the line of best fit for the data. Remember, you're drawing your line of best fit. We are trying to hit as many points as we possibly can. However, you still have to make an actual line. Okay, so I just took a ruler and I just kind of made my line, and I am going, there we go. So I just connected all those, well, tried connecting. You can see some of my dots did not connect on there. So again, you're only drawing one line, trying to hit as many points as you possibly can. So does this data show positive, negative, or no correlation? So we see that our x's, as our x's are increasing, our y's are also increasing, so this is a positive correlation. Okay, so now we're going to write an equation for the line of best fit using the following points. So I already am giving you 2 comma what. So I have to go up to my graph and I want to see 2 in my x-axis because this is my x, and then I have my y value of 55 there. And then I want to use my other point of 5, and then that means I'm going to have 136 as my other y. So I'm going to label these x1, y1, x2, y2, because I'm now going to use those as my slope. I'm determining the m value. Remember, we have y2 minus y1, so divided by x2 minus x1. And now I am going to plug in those values and get my slope. So 136 minus 55, and then I have 5 minus 2. So when I get 136 minus 55, it's 81 divided by 3, and 3 actually goes into 81 nicely. That is 27. So that stands for my y, my m, and my y equals mx plus b form. So now I just need to determine my actual b value, my y-intercept. So what I'm going to do is I can choose a point and then use my slope that I just determined. So I'm going to pick this point and plug that into my formula. So I'm going to use it as y equals, so y is 55, and my m is now 27, and I'm going to plug in the 2 for x plus b is what we do not know yet. I'm going to multiply the 27 and the 2, which brings me to 54, and I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides, leaving me with b equaling 1. So I'm going to now keep my slope, my m, which is 27, and my b, and my actual formula will be y equals 27x plus 1. So this is my actual line of best fit, or in other words, my equation for this set of data here. Okay, so let's go ahead and now go on to our next slide, and we are going to explain in words what our equation actually means here. So I'm just going to write our equation here just so we remember what it was. So 27x plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and represent that 27 first. So the 27, we're going to actually say the panda grows 27 inches per month. Remember, the x represents the months. So that's what our 27 stands for. The panda grows 27 inches per month, and the 1 represents our y-intercept. So remember, our y-intercept is when our x equals 0. So after 0 months, meaning the baby is less than a month old, the panda is 1 inch, or let's actually say the panda's body length is 1 inch. Okay, so we now have described our slope. The panda grows 27 inches per month. After 0 months, the panda's body length is 1 inch. Okay, so now we have our last sentence here. How long would you expect an 8-month panda to be? And we would end up having to plug in, so 8 months is represents the variable of x. So now I have y equals 27 times 8 plus 1. So now I'm going to do 27 times 8. I get 216. I'm going to add 1, and I end up getting y equals 217. Make sure you have a complete sentence actually telling us what that 217 actually represents. So the panda would be 217 inches long after 8 months. All right, and be sure that you have labeled your graph, titled it, labeled it, numbered it on both your x and y axis. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in class.